know that cybercrime is on the rise in our communities. Join me, Ishimwe Kathy, on the program Safe Life as we host the ASP Musmenta Immaculate. You're most welcome, madam. Please say hello to the viewers.
Thank you. Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Assistant Superintendent of Police, Musmenta Immaculate, currently heading the Cybercrime and Cybersecurity Sensitization Campaign of 2021.
Madam Musmenta, what is the meaning of cybercrime and cybersecurity?
When we talk of cybercrime, we mean any criminal activity that targets a computer, a network, or any networked device. And when we talk of a computer, we do not mean only desktop or laptop, as long as it is an electronic device that accepts input, processes the input, and produces output. For example, your mobile phones, your iPads, whatever device that you give instructions and gives you output, it is classified under a computer.
Okay. What do you mean by cybersecurity?
These are ways how we can protect ourselves. For example, use of passwords. How do you prevent yourself from becoming a victim of cybercrime? That is what we are going to teach the Ugandans today.
Okay. Which laws do we have in place that govern computer use here in Uganda?
We have several laws. We have the Computer Misuse Act. We have the Data Protection and Privacy Act. We have the Lawful Interception of Communication Act. We have Anti-Pornography Act. We have Electronic Signatures Act, Electronic Transactions Act, and the Copyrights and Neighboring Crimes Act. When we talk of the Computer Misuse Act, for example, which we are going to put emphasis on today, this is the law that guides the use of a computer network, gives the crimes, the offenses that one can commit if you use your computer wrongly, and gives the punishment, provides for the punishments in case you have committed the offense. What are you liable to? Which punishment do you get?
Okay, would you mention some of those punishments that one
for example, when we talk of electronic fraud, you can't mention a punishment unless you have a crime someone has committed. For example, under Section 13 of the Computer Misuse Act, we have electronic fraud. If someone does electronic fraud, which is theft, basically let us call it theft. When someone steals or uses his gadget to get money here and there in a fraudulent way, they are liable to a punishment of either not exceeding 7,200,000, that is 360 currency points, or imprisonment not exceeding 15 years. That's, for example, one punishment for that offense. Other offenses have different punishments. We have unlawful access to a computer. That one takes 240 currency points, which is because each currency point is 20,000 shillings. So when we say 240 currency points, that is 4,200,000. You just multiply the currency points by the 20,000 shillings.
Okay, coming back on the cybercrime, what are the most common cybercrimes?
Electronic fraud. E-fraud, the statistics are showing, for example, the annual crime report of 2019 showed that Ugandans made a loss of 11,446,000,000 just for electronic fraud. That is, when we talk of electronic fraud, we mean ATM fraud, mobile money fraud, wire transfers, like banks, someone sending a code to a bank and then stealing money from the bank, or sending the money to different other bank accounts or mobile money lines. That is e-fraud. Uganda lost 11,446,000,000 only in electronic fraud. So that is basically the most common cybercrime in Uganda today.
Why has the Uganda police come out on this campaign now?
Basing on that crime report of 2019. That's why we decided to come up and say maybe some Ugandans are falling victim because they are not aware. So we need to give awareness. We need Ugandans to understand how cybercrime works, how cybercriminals work, how they can protect themselves from falling victim, and how they can prevent themselves from doing the cybercrime unknowingly. As we say, ignorance of the law has no defense. So they need to know. That's why we have come up and said, no, this cybercrime has become rampant. Imagine a rise from 2018 to 2019. We have an increment of 50 cases of electronic fraud. That is a very big number. When we are talking of cybercrime, we don't look at it like someone can say 50 cases in 1 year is a small number. No, it's not. When it is cybercrime, one case can lead to a loss of billions of money in only a few minutes. In 10 minutes, one has already wired 800 million from one account to another. So when we talk of an increment of 50 cases in just 1 year, it is too much. We can't compare it like these other ordinary cases which we have been having, where someone steals chicken, steals goats, steals... No, this criminal activity is highly technical and it leads to too much loss. That's how we have come up now.
How can someone safeguard himself or herself from falling victim of cybercrime?
That's a very good question. There are very many things you can do. Number one, always use passwords. Apply strong passwords, unique, different for all applications. If you have Facebook, you have WhatsApp, don't use only one password. Keep changing them periodically. And then some of us have a tendency of keeping the passwords in our notebooks. That one is wrong. Use a password management software. They are always freeware. They are not sold. They are free. You just download password management software, and then you also can use encryption and backup. Encrypt your data, but that one is a bit technical. It needs someone with a background in IT or some knowledge. Use backup. When I talk of backup, you can have a hard drive or a flash disk or some gadget that can store your sensitive information. Keep it so that if your gadget gets a problem, you can refer to the backup. Always be careful using public Wi-Fi. Avoid activating geolocation on your gadgets because someone can easily get to you. Don't open unexpected links. In 2016, the Central Bank of Bangladesh was defrauded of $80 million just because an employee opened a link which he didn't know where it was coming from. And within one night, just between Saturday and Sunday, $80 million had been transferred from the central bank to one bank in Sri Lanka and another bank in the Philippines. So it is that sensitive. Always don't open links which you don't know or which you are not expecting, or the person from people you don't know. Don't give your credentials to someone because someone has called you. Oh, I'm sending you a code, please put in your password. Avoid that. Many people have been defrauded through use of mobile money by just a call and putting in codes, and they avoid putting your password into things you don't understand. Buy SIM cards from registered, legalized agents. Don't just buy anywhere. Be cautious, be proactive, and be informed.
Okay. In case someone has fallen victim, where can I report? Where can I go? What do I do?
The Directorate of ICT, Uganda Police Force, has put regional ICT officers in all the regions in Uganda. In case you go to report your case on the region, on the district, ask for an ICT person. They are always there. Secondly, we have the toll-free line, 999. Call it immediately. Someone has called you, taken your money, call it immediately. Or even if they haven't taken money, there is what we call Section 27 of the Computer Misuse Act, talks about attempt. Most of you have been called. Someone says, I have sent you money, but it's just a message. When you check, others have sent money very fast without checking whether the money is actually there. So that is attempt. Others who have not sent have just kept quiet. When someone attempts you like that, still call 999 or send a message. We have a WhatsApp line.
You talked of calling police immediately. Sometimes when you call, they take long to respond, or sometimes they do not respond at all. What can one do?
Well, that's why the Directorate of ICT, Department of Electronic Countermeasures, has put up a WhatsApp line where you can just send the message immediately. At least if the abuser, they have not taken long to receive your call, at least the message can go. And we have a unit specifically for investigating cybercrime. It is electronic investigations at CID headquarters, Chibuli.
In our communities, most of the times people just post nude pictures and use vulgar languages all over social media. Is it also considered to be part of cybercrime?
Yes, we have what we call social media related crimes. We have cyber stalking, we have cyber harassment, we have offensive communication. All those are crimes under the Computer Misuse Act. We have child pornography. Sending a photo of a child who is naked, for example, is an offense. People don't know. Then when I take you back to the security, avoid posting photos of your children online. Because if someone wants to target you, they can first get to your children.
Most laws are in English, which is a foreign language, and yet the culprits of these crimes, the cyber crimes, are usually the locals. Now, what exactly can they do?
Yes,
because most of the times they do not know.
That's a very good question. In this campaign, we intend to go to all regions in Uganda. We are not stopping here in Kampala. We are going to go to the west. When we reach there, we shall explain the laws in Runyakitara. We are going to go to the north. We shall get someone who knows the languages in the north to explain. We have officers who can explain these laws in all the languages in all regions in Uganda. That's our plan for the cyber crime campaign.
At what point does someone commit child pornography?
If you record a video, no, first of all, if you take a photograph of a naked child, that is child pornography. If you record a video of children engaging in any sexual kind of activities, you have committed child pornography. If you transfer the video from one computer to another, or maybe you send it to a friend, you have committed child pornography. If you keep storing you are committing child pornography, and on conviction, you're liable to imprisonment not exceeding 15 years or paying a fine not exceeding 7,200,000.
Okay, let's say someone has stolen like 800 million from a certain bank.
Yes.
And this person is probably taken to prison for like 15 years. Do you think that punishment is enough, or does that take away the crime commitments? Does it reduce it in any way?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Section 27 of the Computer Misuse Act talks about compensation. She has asked a very good question. Section 27 caters for that question, compensation. That court has powers to decide on what punishment to give you under that section. They can say, for example, he has stolen 800 million from James, has stolen from John 800 million. Under that section, they can say you're going to first pay to compensate John the 700 million you have stolen. Then on top of that, you'll get the punishment which is stipulated in the act, which is the 15, not exceeding 15 years, imprisonment not exceeding 15 years, or a fine not exceeding 7,200,000.
Let's say someone has tried to steal the bank but has failed, and he is arrested.
Okay.
What kind of crime would he have committed?
Section 21 of the Computer Misuse Act talks about attempt and abatement. Attempt. It means when you plan to steal a bank, for example, the question she has given, if you plan to steal a bank, you go and buy all the gadgets, all the programs, the softwares that you intend to use, and you set up everything. Then you try, and maybe in the middle, either you're arrested or you have failed. Maybe technically you have failed, you find you can't pull through with it, still you have committed the offense of electronic fraud, and on conviction you're still liable to the punishment of imprisonment not exceeding 15 years or a fine not exceeding 7,200,000. So never attempt. don't attempt.
Okay. In our communities, we have very many wise people who are who know so much about these computers and ICTs. Let's say someone has asked you to run code on a computer, and you do it unknowingly. Who could have committed that crime? In case of anything, is it me, the one who has run the code unknowingly, or the person who has asked me to do it?
There is what we call abatement. It is also provided for under Section 21 of the Computer Misuse Act. Now, abatement means making someone else commit the offense. You have given me the code. You have said, okay, run that code, maybe it will protect your device. But you upped something. On running the code on my phone, it steals money from another person's phone, for example. We call that abatement, and both of you have committed the offense because I have given you the code. I am liable to the same punishment like you. You are also penalized because you have committed the offense. Ignorance of the law is no defense. But the person who has given you the code is also liable under Section 21 because that is abatement. She has abated you to do the offense.
Taking you back, most of these people are not aware, but what happens? What have you done as the Uganda police force? What have you done to make sure that these people are aware of these things that are taking on, to make sure that they do not commit these crimes unknowingly?
That's why we are coming up now. With this is going to be, it's not only going to be 3 months, this is going to take over 1 year. But efforts will be put too much in the first 3 months, then we shall roll out to the regions, we shall move all the regions, sensitizing people about these electronic kind of crimes. Then we shall go to schools, church, mosques. People must be aware. That's why we have put up this campaign. Because others are doing these things when they don't know. You're very right. But by the end of this year, 2021, every Ugandan will know that if I use my phone, for example, let me give you a certain interesting case. We have what we call unlawful access or unauthorized access into a computer system, which is Section 12 of the Computer Misuse Act. Most people are committing this offense unknowingly, like men and women, the lovers. There is a friend of mine who told me the husband wakes up, gets his phone, and puts the fingerprint. He holds the woman's fingerprint and puts the phone unlocks, and he accesses everything. We call that unlawful access or unauthorized access in a computer system. If the wife knew this, he would go and report, and the man would be liable for imprisonment of not exceeding 15 years. It's very serious. Or paying a fine of 240 currency points, which is 4,800,000. Just entering that. And on top of entering, the man or woman will commit another offense. Maybe they have found some messages from some lovers or something. They will go ahead and send, "Why are you talking with my wife? What is this you're doing? I will kill you." Another offense. That is Section 13, access with intent to commit a felony, to commit an offense. Liable to 400,000, on conviction. If you do that, you have harassed someone. You have entered the gadget without permission. You have harassed someone. You're liable to 15 years, or both.
Apart from the 15 years and paying some amount of money, what else is like a punishment that you give?
Now, apart from compensation, the element of compensation which comes in fraud, in the electronic fraud cases, on these other cases, they only court will follow the given punishments for such offenses. But for electronic fraud or money-related offenses, like money laundering, ATM kind of fraud, mobile money kind of fraud, those ones have compensation element in Section 27 as said. But for these other offenses, court will follow the guidelines of the of the Computer Misuse Act.
Madam Musmenta, what is cryptocurrency? Is it an offense? Is it allowed in Uganda?
cryptocurrency, Ugandans have to know that the definition of foreign currency, Section 3 of the Foreign Currency Act, it defines foreign currency as any money used outside Uganda which is not legal tender in Uganda. But cryptocurrency is not legalized in Uganda. So anybody who engages in cryptocurrency, selling and receiving those transactions, which most of you have joined and lost money, in 2018, 3,000 Ugandans lost lots of money to one company which was called Global Finance. So it is very, very serious. Most Ugandans are losing money in a way they don't understand. So I want Ugandans to know that cryptocurrency is not yet legalized as any legal tender in Uganda. Finally, I urge Ugandans to be cautious, to be proactive, and to be informed. Don't wait for cases to first happen before you come to us. Report to police. The toll-free number is 0779 999 0779 999. That is the WhatsApp number for police, where you report all cybercrime cases. Just drop a message, we will be there to investigate.
I'm here with an officer who works from the same department. Let's hear from him. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
My name is Detective ASP Nkonge Simon Peter. I work in the Electronic Countermeasure Department, which is, I'm the head of Network Security, Uganda Police Force.
Okay, what will an ordinary Ugandan benefit from this campaign?
First of all, an ordinary Ugandan would now get exposure, first of all. The knowledge of knowing the different types of crimes. 2, they will know when to report, how to report. At least they'll have a voice. Previously, Ugandans have not been having a voice, and many crimes have been committed against them. So in this campaign, we are coming to them to inform them that ABCD, supposing, let me say, someone uses your SIM card and transfers money. Is there a case to report? Can you actually go and report it? What's the procedure? What are you looking at? Do you expect justice at the end? What is the punishment to the person who has actually offended you? Can we actually, as police, are we able to investigate such cases? Do you have the capability and manpower? Do you have the necessary training? Now, this is our way of saying that police now is ready. Police has the right kind of personnel, the right kind of skill, and is there for you as the public.
Okay, what have you benefited from this, working in this field as a person?
My benefit, first of all, one is, I wouldn't say my benefit, but the experience. My experience during this stretch, I would call it a stretch, of cybercrime investigations, because I started as one of the founders of Uganda Police's cybercrime department. Then I came to cybersecurity. However, I have discovered that our people are kind of gullible, easy to lure into committing a crime. Most Ugandans are not even aware of what's taking place. They are easy to accept. Sometimes you say a message on your phone asking you to say yes, you just press yes. Ugandans post a lot of private information on social media, which most of these hackers are using in order to hack their systems, because you post where you are, you're posting your password, you're posting a birthday party of your friend, you're posting your location. Some of this information actually is very, very critical. Let me give an example. In visa card fraud, if someone knows your location, because normally it's the key question, the location of the user of the visa card. Once someone knows your location, the location of the user or the holder of the card, then they have access to your information. Most of the time, that's the hardest. So please, Ugandans, avoid posting a lot of information, personal information on social media. The world is not interested in your personal information in any case, but rather you are actually exposing yourself to these would-be criminals.
Let's be mindful of cyber crimes, because safety starts with you. Remember, living a safe life is your right and responsibility. I remain Ishimwe Kathy. Please stay safe.
of the day on UBC, brought to you by was brought to you by
No one should stop you from finishing what's yours. That's why MTN gives you data bundles that don't expire.